Welcome to the Football Feast podcast, the go-to podcast for soccer or football players who want to eat, train, and recover like the pros. I'm Craig Evans, a sports nutritionist working with athletes at every level, from rising stars to seasoned pros. Here, we deep dive into how elite players fuel for success, chat with top coaches, chefs, and experts, and bring you real stories from the pitch. Whether you're chasing a contract or just looking for that extra edge, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Football Feast podcast. This is episode 16, and today I have Nicole O'Neill with me. So Nicole is a women's footballer who was born in Ireland. So she's got experience playing over in Ireland and grew up there. And she then also went to the US and has experience playing in the women's college system over there. So I'm looking forward to digging into that. And now she is over here, well, not right now, but she's over here in Adelaide, Australia, and absolutely dominating the pitch here. So how are you today, Nicole?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me on. Really excited.
I'm really glad we sort of linked up, and just your enthusiasm to get everything right and wanting to be a better player. I could feel that from your messages and your efforts to understand, your feeling.
Thank you. Yeah. I think fueling and nutrition has always been a big part of my game, and working with you these past few months has really improved just many things in my game.
Oh, no, that's good to hear. I think it's just confusing for a lot of people, like the information that's out there, and something that I'm trying to do, you see like a nutritionist online and they're posting information and it's very like out there for multi-sport, but it's not necessarily like that. So, football or soccer itself, what I'm trying to do is just hone it right in on that. A football player can look at my information and just be like, oh, so that's what I should be eating. And it's not vague and misty, and they might be posting something about endurance runners and what they should eat, and you apply it to your game.
Yeah, no, exactly. I've seen a lot of misinformation too in regards to nutrition. So it is nice to have that clarity, especially for my sport, which is very different to, as you said, other sports that nutritionists cover online,
Yeah, definitely. Has there been any sort of like things that you've tried before and you're like, yeah, I tried to cut out carbs completely and that was the worst decision ever. I had no energy and I was grumpy all the time, or anything like that?
Not carbs in particular, because I am so interested in nutrition and dietetics. I think I would go a little too far in eating whole foods, eating clean, just kind of the other end of it. So I would be eating all the right things, but I would just maybe be eating not enough of the right things, or maybe be missing different windows where I could incorporate some simple sugars and simple carbs. For example, before training, a bowl of vegetables isn't going to be sufficient to give me that fuel and energy. I need like a Gatorade or a granola bar to get me through. So I think not including them simple sugars was a big mistake of mine, especially early on in my soccer career. Yeah.
I absolutely love what you just said. So majority of players you get from either side of the spectrum, right? So you get players that come to me and they're just not eating enough and they're eating all the wrong things. And then I do get players that are super keen on their health and they are trying to do everything right. And it's actually holding back their game. So I think a great example of this is Michael Phelps, who, most decorated Olympian of all time, had 0% body fat, but he swam around 20 kilometers in the pool every day. So much volume. And that requires like tons of energy to do, right? So he needed to eat around 8,000 to 10,000 calories a day, which is gigantic. Like it's a huge amount. Yeah. But if he tried to do that, just eating salads and blueberries and drinking water and doing all the right things, he would be eating around the clock, like nonstop. He would hate it and be interfering with his life and fun and family, things like that. So he had to adjust his diet to have things like pizza in it and burgers and cans of Coke and things that are really energy dense, but just he could get in. And yeah, that's how, I guess how it gets confusing with people is like the elite athletes have to find or utilize these shortcuts to maximize their actual performance.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a huge thing for athletes. They see these professional athletes and the Cristiano Ronaldos and his diet and just how clean it is. And it is quite misguided in that way. And it can lead a lot of younger players, especially, to fall into them kind of traps of, I need to eat clean all the time. I can't eat that And then it often leads to under fueling, in the long run, which it has for me in the past. And it took a long time for me to realize that though.
Yeah. So how do you feel like you were under fueling? So you obviously you were trying to eat really well, and do you
Yeah,
feel like it affected your sort of mood and your daily energy levels?
I would say so. Yeah. I think it's hard. I see like in the female game as well, you see a lot of it. And there are a lot of stereotypes or maybe, oh, yeah, just like stereotypes for what a female should eat, what a female should look like, what a female athlete should look like. And there is a lot of pressure in that situation. But yeah, I think overall energy levels dropped off a lot, especially when I was trying to do like just activities of daily life. Like I would fuel up for my training session, but then I wouldn't fuel up enough for the rest of the day, if you get what I'm saying. Like around the training, I would typically fuel very well, but then I like towards after I would drop off with the fuel. But then as I grew and developed, especially when I went to America, I did learn to up the carbs, up the calories in general throughout the whole day as a whole, rather than just before training, after training, which is quite common, I feel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really interesting as well. A great thing I like to tell players and even parents is to try and eat with intent, and not like just before or just after, but like the day before. So if you know what the next day is going to be, so a good example, I guess, is if your day is going to be sitting on the couch, watching movies, having a movie marathon, then you don't have to eat as much energy for that. You don't require it. But yeah, if you've got a match or a training session or something like that, that day should be planned to support the energy you need across the day and for that training session. I think that's quite valuable for players to understand.
Yeah, I agree. No one went to up the carbs for them high training load days. And when you have a lower intensity day, it is important maybe up the protein for that recovery and like drop the carbs off a little bit. But just finding that like balance is quite challenging. And you really have to educate yourself on the nutrition. And just like whenever you broke down the calories for me, it really just put it in perspective of like when I was eating that amount of food before and you were telling me like it's too much fat, like close to training and stuff. Like I thought I had it locked in and dialed in with my nutrition, and I realized there are so many little things that come into it that we're just not aware of, that you need to educate yourself, I suppose, on.
Yeah, I'm glad I helped, but we just started. I guess that was a glimpse of what I can do. We dialed it in a bit more. We made a few changes, and I'm really glad we mentioned that. I like how you picked it up, like how you noticed what I did and why it's important. And I think a lot of players will gain a lot of value of getting that information. And that's like a big part of doing what I do and presenting all this information online. Just that, like, knowing how many calories they should be eating or they should have, and knowing like what that meal should be looking like, breakfast of that day. Yeah, because there's a lot of information. And like I touched on before, a person's profile as a nutritionist or a dietitian might be giving all this information out multi-sports, but that's kind of why I've honed it in, is I really want players to be able to look at it and go, oh, that's what I should be eating here. And that's how much energy I need for that day. I'm really glad you explained that, because I think a lot of players don't realize exactly the detail that goes into it.
Yeah.
And a good example actually is, so if you're fueling an elite athlete and it's like an
Right.
Olympian and it's a cyclist or something like that, their training days look very different. So I will set their fuel up for each day. So say if the cyclist has a gym day, a low intensity riding day, their fueling will look a bit different. And say the next day is a high intensity interval sprint day, they get fuel for that. It looks different. And then the day after that, it might be a really, 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 really long ride and working on their VO2 max or something, fueling has to look different. So yeah, it actually gets really, really detailed into every day. Then we go to the micronutrients. So athletes need more iron. Athletes need way more vitamins than the everyday person. So yeah, you're 100% on the money there. It's a lot thicker than people realize.
And it's so important as well, just to be going into the next day, like not on a deficit, like not on that like low fuel tank, because then you're compensating the next day, which can be really challenging. And as you said, like the Michael Phelps, when we do expend so much energy, like it is really difficult to get that in if we are trying to eat a balanced whole food based diet. So yeah, just being consistent, I think, with the diet is so important, and making sure we're keeping up with them balanced meals and getting in all the good complex carbohydrates and all that kind of good quality protein. It's just so important. And you really do feel different as a player. Like I can testify to that, especially as a midfielder. Like the ground we cover in the midfield is, you can't even comprehend the amount of energy we expend during a game. And then like you add in different factors, then you add in like the sun, like in the summertime, and like the electrolytes, and as you said, the micronutrients. It's really like getting that balance is really challenging. And that's definitely experience will teach you how to combat that.
Yeah, the puzzle that we have to deal with, 100%. Yeah, when it's extremely hot, especially like the elite teams, they're going over and doing these summer camps and they've got a plan for it, or players going to play the Middle East, and it's absolutely ridiculous over there. Humidity is such a massive factor as well. The wind, so wind can drive people out faster. It's more multifaceted than people realize. But yeah, the elite level teams have all these people working around them and to help them perform at their highest level. And a lot of the semi-pro athletes, or the athletes that are trying to make that, they don't have that. So yeah, this information is super important to help them get to that next level, or to perform better every single day in training, which those 1%, 2%, they're going to add up so fast over, you know, a 20-year career, a 25-year career. We've sort of jumped around a bit here, but I've enjoyed that start. Can you give us sort of an introduction of yourself and where you're from originally, and what brought you to Adelaide to play for Adelaide Uni?
Yeah, I'm originally from Dublin, Ireland. Honestly, I grew up playing a lot of different sports. I never really played soccer at a club level until about 13. I played camogie, which is an Irish sport. It's the female version of hurling. I don't know if you've ever heard of hurling.
I've not. Is it like
No,
throwing, like hurling something as far as you can?
it sounds like that, but no, it's like a stick and a little ball. It's, do you know Gaelic football?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's under that kind of umbrella of a Gaelic sport. But yeah, anyways, played camogie, played basketball, I swam, I done taekwondo. If you name a sport, I was likely doing it. So yeah, I just always loved sport. And then I began my club soccer at 13, so quite late. But yeah, I just love the game so much. And I think the fact that I did start later motivated me to try harder to catch up with the other girls that were like way ahead of me. So I worked really hard from about 13 to around 17. It was around 16, 17. I done a trial for, it was Pass for Soccer. So it's a American scholarship company. So I done that. And yeah, from there, I just began my journey then to get recruited to go to America. Cause I always loved the idea of going to the States and playing and studying, and all just the facilities I seen were just out of this world. So I ended up getting a scholarship in America. That was at 18. I went over to the States then. And then I was there for 4.5 years. I was in Mississippi first, and then I transferred to Louisiana. And then from there, I went to Adelaide, and that's where I was this past season. So yeah.
Okay, fair bit to touch on that. One, camogie. I'm gonna Google this camogie because I don't know what it is now. How do I spell camogie?
It's actually CAMOGIE.
Okay, camogie.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the
wow.
one.
It's like hockey a bit, but with a stick. Okay, yeah, I see it.
You could compare it to hockey. You have like a helmet, a little
Yes.
ball.
Yeah, it's like
Glitter.
field hockey.
Similar, yeah. Yeah, that's the one.
How
Oh,
good.
10.
Well, there you go. I learned something very new today. I'm very happy about that. All right, so camogie, cool. Very good. The decisions to go to the US, what made you do that? Because I feel like it's scary for some people to be like, see you, mum and dad, I'm off. I'm going to the US to go play soccer.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a huge step. Yeah, I always just loved the idea of going to the States. From a young
Yeah.
age, I think we used to go a lot as kids over to America. I was in like Florida and Chicago growing up. So my mom she was born in America. So
Okay.
she was born in Chicago, and we're dual citizens, me and my sisters. But we were born in Ireland and lived in Ireland. So like I always had that part of America like in me that I always just wanted to go there. I just knew it was bigger, and everyone wants to go to America. It's cool. Like, but yeah, whenever I did go for the scholarship trial, we were shown a video And it basically just showed all the facilities, the pitches, strength and conditioning rooms, coaches on this like video. And I was just sitting there, my eyes were like wide open watching this video. And I was like, I want to do that. That sounds so cool to me. Because as well, I always valued academics in school. And just the idea of being able to combine the two, like I love soccer. I didn't love academics, but like I took pride in my academics. So yeah, to be able to join them two together, I just thought was so cool. And then just experiencing a different culture and a different style of play, like intrigued me so much. Cause like I knew how physically demanding the athleticism of the American game, the emphasis on speed, strength, all that stuff. I was kind of like a skinnier, like little midfielder. I just ran a lot, you know. I wanted to improve that side of my game to take me to the next level. And I definitely think it did.
Yeah. Wow, that's super interesting. So you got over there. What is it like? So yeah, strength and conditioning, facilities. Did you find yourself putting on heaps more muscle?
I did, honestly. I really did. Yeah. So it's actually funny. Whenever I first started, I was a freshman. So that's like your first year. And yeah, I walked in and I met my coach for the first time because obviously we had only like FaceTimed. And he was like, wow, you're smaller than I thought you were. Because he was used to like these like stronger like American players. And he actually told me, he was like, you should really put on about 10 pounds of weight. It doesn't matter like muscle fat, like you need 10 pounds on you, like extra.
Oh, walked in the
And
door.
I know straight in, I was like, wow, okay. Yeah, it was funny. I started off at a junior college. So I don't know if you're familiar with the system in America. A junior college is, I would say it's like a transition into the university division 1 level, like top kind of level of the US college system. So junior college is 2 years and you're playing at the lower kind of level, but you start in every game, you're getting playing time. The schools are smaller and the academics are a little bit easier. So for people with like lower GPAs in high school, it is easier to get into junior college. But that wasn't my issue. My issue was I was more small. I wasn't as strong to go straight to division 1 level, which is like the top level in the US. So yeah, I started at junior college. I actually was only there for a year and a half and then I graduated early and I got picked up by a coach then for a division 1 team, which at first nobody thought I could ever get a division 1 offer. It just wasn't on the cards for me when I first came over to the States. And that's why I started at junior college. But yeah, that coach telling me like, I need to put on a bit of muscle. I need to lock in. I got like tunnel vision and I was like, I want a division 1 offer. I need to get in the strength. Like I need to get in the weight room and just get like strong. And from there, my freshman year, I think I struggled a lot. I think different factors came into it. So I was in Mississippi. So the humidity was intense to say the least. So that was a big adjustment. So getting used to the heat, getting acclimatized to the heat, and then putting on the muscle and getting that athleticism of my game was like huge. So my first year, I struggled a little bit. I scored, I think, 5 goals, 5 assists. It was decent. I played most minutes because it was junior college, so it wasn't as high a level. But my second year then, I really took it up to the next level with that year of being in the strength room, using all these facilities, like getting the knowledge on my nutrition locked in. And that's when I stepped up to the next level. And that's when I got that division 1 offer. Yeah. And that's where I was in America then, past 3.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's such a great insight. And I think a lot of Australian players probably don't realize what you've just said. You know, that's happening over there. And we're probably missing that a bit here. I suppose we've got our academies growing up now and there's like offshoots and a lot of one-on-one things and stuff like that. But I think hearing how much it changed your game and you getting picked up just by applying that to your game and building up that strength and your prevention, the nutrition. Yeah. And obviously it was noticeable because if someone's noticed and offered you a contract.
Absolutely. I think the grassroots in Australia is very good. This NTC program is great. They really do develop the girls from young ages. I just think that strength side of it is missing still. I did notice that whenever I came to Australia, we had training sessions as a team, but we didn't have strength training sessions. And that kind of took me back because I had been so used to it in America. We would strength train 2 or 3 times a week, along with 5 training sessions out on the pitch, along with recovery sessions. And yeah, it was quite a difference. But then because I did have that experience in America, I could do that by myself and go get that strength training by myself. But if I didn't have that experience in America, I wouldn't know any different. Then I would just rock up the training twice a week and have the game on the weekend.
Yeah. So how many times you use training over here? Twice a week training and then again on the weekend?
Yeah. Sometimes 3 times, but mainly twice a week.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously that's a big difference, the accumulated amount of minutes of training that the girls are getting over there versus here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. So would you say the US system is set up better compared to the Australian system at the moment? Is there a big difference?
I think they're unique in their own way. The Australian system is quite technically kind of based, and there's a big emphasis on the actual soccer being played. But on the American side of things, it's like athleticism, physicality, strength, like all of that is just emphasized, like being an athlete. So like you could have players that have never watched a game of soccer in their lives, but they're at like the top level for the US system. But then on the Australian side, it's quite like refreshing after being in America for so long to see that nice, pretty style of play and playing football, which is really, it was nice to come into. But yeah, they're just different in their own way.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I think that like typifies like what we see as Americans in like movies and stuff, because they want to be like the best of the best and the strongest and the fastest and rule the world sort of thing. But yeah, that's funny.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then the decision to come to Adelaide, how did that happen?
Yeah. So after college soccer in America, I still felt like I was ready to keep playing. And in the US, it's like very much college and then professional. And they're kind of missing that middle kind of ground. So I wasn't ready. I wasn't at the level to go professional. And then I didn't feel like I just wanted to hang the boots up either. So I got onto Ryan Hogan. He's with Play Sport Agency on Instagram. I'd seen a few players sign to go to Australia and I was really interested in it. And I always wanted to go to Australia. I just was always interested in seeing the culture there. And yeah, a lot of Irish do go to Sydney and whatnot. But yeah, I got on to Ryan and then I was talking to a few coaches, but when I talked to Duncan, I was immediately just blown away by his ideas for the team, like ambitions. And it really made me really excited and made me want to go. Yeah, so Adelaide Uni, like they didn't have as much success in the past few years, but hearing Duncan's ideas, and he's a first year coach and there's a lot of young players this year on our team. So he had a lot of optimism about the team. And yeah, I was really excited about it, and just getting a new idea of like a new style of play of a team in a different country was really intriguing for me, I think. But yeah, Duncan definitely sold me.
Yeah, cool. So he's got a good sales pitch on him.
Yeah, he does. He's a lawyer, so I'm sure that kind of helps with the persuasion part of it. And yeah.
Absolutely. That's his job.
Yeah.
Good. I might give him a call if I ever need a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. All right. That's good to have you here. How have you found Australia so far?
Yeah, I've loved it. I feel like it's quite similar to Ireland in the way of the people are quite laid back. They're quite humble, down to earth people and easy to talk to, easy to play with. I felt welcome straight away into the team, that's for sure.
Have you been to much of Australia? Because it's just, I think you've seen you go to Sydney for a bit.
I did. I went to Sydney last week. Yeah, just for 3 days, just to see the big touristy sightseeing attractions and whatnot.
Yeah, okay. I always tell people that you have to go to Darwin, especially like backpackers and stuff like that, or anyone visiting here. Like that area is real Australian. It's like Crocodile Dundee, town called Daly Waters, which is like in the middle of Northern Territory. And it looks like something off Mad Max. There's like skeletons of like helicopters and old army things and stuff like that around the town. But there's a guy there who's got a crocodile in his front yard and he walks it around with a leash around town. It's 100%. Like it's Australia. They've got like heaps of waterfalls there and rock pools and stuff like that. Beautiful, like amazing countryside. And then when it rains and the rivers overflow, like crocodiles can end up in like someone's backyard or something like that. It's wild there. It's a really cool place to visit. And the way I kind of explain it is, you know how if you go to a bar and there's always like that group that's always way too drunk and you're like, oh, that's Darwin. Like everyone's like that. Everyone's that group.
I love that. I'm raging I didn't go now. I have to come back just to go there now.
Yeah, you do. You do. 100%. I highly recommend. All right. So what's your take on the World Cup heading to the US next year? How will that play out?
Yeah, it's really exciting. I think it's going to bring a bit more of a buzz around soccer in the US. Like, I feel like here, the biggest sports, especially in the South where I am, is American football, baseball, and then for females, like softball. Basketball is quite big too. But yeah, I think men's soccer especially isn't that popular here. So having the men's World Cup will definitely bring a lot of excitement around soccer, and I'm really excited for it. I'm going to be going to some of the games for sure.
Yeah, me too. I'm actually going. I'm taking my son. It's his birthday next week, but one of his surprises I'm giving him is a ticket to America. So yeah, should be good.
Oh, wow. Which state are you going to go to?
I don't know. We couldn't wait to find out where Australia ends up in the group, in their group.
Yep.
Because that was the side where I guess we're headed. But we're flying into, I think it's LA and then Orlando. I wanted to take him to Disneyland.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, he's always had a fascination with America, maybe similar to you. But like he's always wanted to go, and I promised him like for ages that I'd take him when he's 10. But with the World Cup happening, he'll be 9, but with the World Cup happening, it's like the perfect timing, and I get to go to the World Cup with him and share that with him.
Yeah, it's a win-win.
Yeah, definitely.
That's amazing. He'll remember that for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I hope so. I think so. Of course. Okay, who are your biggest role models in women's football?
I had one role model, I think, that really drove my passion and like dedication in soccer, and it's Tobin Heath. I don't know if you know her. She's a US women's national team player. She played for the Portland Torrents. She had a stint at Manchester United. She played for PSG at one point. Yes, so she's actually retired now. She had a lot of injuries in her career, but she just played with such freedom and flair, and she just sent defenders to the shops, honestly. Like, her skill was next level. So you have to watch her highlights reel. It's incredible. But Tobin Heath is definitely a huge role model to me.
Yeah, cool. I'll look her up for sure. I do know the name, but yeah, I haven't seen much of her game. But yeah, I'll look that up. I was thinking, and I thought you might say Katie McKay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Good on you. Yeah, she's Irish.
Did you see her celebrations after the Champions League win?
In the locker room, was it?
She was very intoxicated, but she was chanting and stuff like that. And yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I know. I did see that actually. Yeah, she's good. I know Caitlin Ford, she's on that team as well. It's a good team.
Yeah, we stacked. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Australia. Did you try Vegemite while you were here?
I did try Vegemite.
Thoughts?
You're not going to like my answer. I actually did not like it.
Do you know what? Yeah, I actually expect that.
Really?
It's not. Yeah, it's so unique. And I think it, like personally for me, I can't have it really by itself. I have to have it with like butter or something like that to make it a bit more tastier. But yeah, how'd you have it?
So I think I done it wrong. Yeah. So I had it with my German teammate. So we were both, Lena is her name. She also played for uni. But yeah, we done the toast, put the toasted bread and stuff, put the butter on it, and then put the Vegemite on it. And we took a video of it because we wanted to make sure we were doing it right for our teammates. But apparently we put like way too much Vegemite on it. It was like a scrape on top. They were like, it needs to be like this much. And I'm like, what's the point of Vegemite then? It's just butter and like this black stuff on top. Like, what's the... So we put too much on it. We put too much on it, and it was so salty. I just couldn't get behind it. Like it.
I'm happier that you did it that way. Like, I'm so glad that you did it the wrong way and I had way too much, because this is a way better reaction than you being like doing it the right way.
I'm actually enjoying it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah.
You'll live without it anyway. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're not like ordering it over from here, getting heaps of jars of it.
No, I brought 2 home for my family to try. And yeah, they didn't actually mind it,
Oh,
which is, yeah, it's to each their own. I could not. But anyways,
yeah. What about Tim Tams? Did you give Tim Tams a
oh
go?
yeah, I had a Tim Tam slam and everything.
Yeah, how good. Tim
Good
Tams are my
stuff, bro.
favorite. I cannot
I
put them in
love
my fridge.
really.
They're gone. Like the whole packet will just go that hour.
It's hard to stop yourself. I find myself like I need to eat like a meal before I have a Tim Tam because yeah, I need to like have something in my stomach. Otherwise, yeah, the whole packet's just gonna be not good.
So outside of football, what did you enjoy most about Adelaide? Did you get to do some sightseeing and go around?
Yeah, I did. I got to see a good bit of Adelaide. I really enjoyed just going around the city. Honestly, just the nature in Adelaide, it's really pretty. I loved like the eucalyptus trees and the birds and the flowers. Everything was just so pretty in Adelaide, and the weather was just beautiful. Yeah, I got to go and see some kangaroos, which was really cool. I got to go down to Port Nalonga. That was really nice.
That's where I grew up.
Is it?
Yeah, I actually have a house there.
Yeah, that was really nice. Yeah, just going to the beach, and Henley Beach was cool, and Glenelg. Yeah, just taking in the natural stuff in Adelaide was pretty cool.
Yep. Did you go down to Victor Harbour or like out the
Yeah.
hills and stuff like that?
Yeah, I did. I went down to Victor Harbour quite a lot, actually. That was good. What did I get? There was like a nice fish and chip shop by the sea. Oh, what was it called again? I don't know. And then there's this bakery. It's really famous bakery.
The
Victor
Port Elliot
Harbour.
Bakery.
Yeah, Port Elliot Bakery. That's the one.
They do their donut of the month, and they
Yeah.
there's
Oh.
like cars waiting for ages.
Yes, I never even got to try it because the line was so long. So we just got like the fish and chips instead. But the best thing I tried, I think, in Adelaide was the tarts, the Portuguese tarts from the Central Market.
Oh, okay. I've actually
I don't
not
know if
been
you
to
know them.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, they were really good. I think they're called Portuguese tarts.
Yeah. You'll have to, let me know.
Yeah, that's them. Yeah, they're in the Central Market. You need to try them.
Okay. I'll fit them into my diet somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm glad we just discussed heaps of good food. I wanted to touch on nutrition now.
Yeah, the good Burris food now.
Yeah, a great segue into eating for performing.
Yes.
Okay, so what's your sort of personal approach to nutrition, and have you ever tracked before? Do you plan or do you eat more intuitively?
Yeah, I would say I'm like a conscious intuitive eater, if that makes any sense. So I'm very aware of what I put into my body. I want to fuel my body for performance and feel my best. You know, I don't want to eat a fatty, greasy meal before I'm going out to play a 90-minute game. Like, I know myself that's not going to work. You don't put diesel in a petrol tank. So I think I'm very aware of what I put into my body, but I do really try to incorporate food freedom. So I'm allowing myself that Portuguese tart at Central Market. I'm allowing myself to get the donut or whatever out of the Port Elliot Bakery. It's important, I think, to have that balance because I have like a relationship with food. So like allowing yourself to have them treats, I think is a healthy approach to food as well, if you get me.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. One of the sort of things we fight a lot is people trying to do the ultra healthy thing and looking at the scales all the time and then stopping themselves, especially like people that go to birthday parties and family events, and they'll be at a birthday party and be a very good friend of theirs and they're avoiding the birthday cake because they're very terrified of it. Yeah,
Right.
that's a big thing we fight, but people need to understand like we can have these things. And one of the things I teach is to plan ahead. So if you know that you're going to have a day like that, or you've got a birthday coming up and, you want to have that slice of cake. Okay, so let's reduce what we're having in the morning. Let's allow ourselves a bit of room to have that enjoyment that fits in energy needs for the day. Especially like when we set someone's diet up, especially like a weight loss diet and someone's trying to lose heaps of weight, if we can set it up where they're still getting something sweet towards the end of the day or within that day where usually they love snacking, it keeps the tolerance, it keeps the person on track for much, much longer. Because if you're trying to suffer and torture yourself and, you're missing out on the things you love, the Tim Tams at the end of the day, then you're not going to hold that for life. And if we can develop a diet that suits them to get their weight loss, to get them to where they want to where they want to be and live for the rest of their life, but keep that bit of enjoyment in there, they're going to most likely stick to that for the rest of their life. And yeah, that's a key thing that we try to do.
Absolutely. I think just like the sustainability of our diets in general is so important. And as you said, that is what's going to keep you on track because it does spiral. And then there is a lot of that binging. And if you're not allowing yourself this one thing, that's the one thing you're just going to want to eat. So yeah, it's important to allow yourself to eat the things that you enjoy.
Yeah. And I think as well, like a sort of a day-to-day thing that people might not realize is if they skip a meal, so say if they're skipping breakfast or skipping lunch or something like that, they might be able to tolerate for a little while, but after a couple of weeks, they'll find themselves like crashing and just binge eating like massively in the afternoon because they're skipping that breakfast meal or lunch meal. Their body eventually wants it and then wants that energy and they just crash sort of thing. Like I guess the person just falls into the trap and ends up just eating way too much and like binging. So it's important to feed your body and keep the energy coming in at a relatively good pace. Yeah, and it can sustain that for much longer.
I really enjoy eating consistently throughout the day as well. I don't think I can go more than 3 hours without some form of food and like eating food. So I just think just having that balance, like the glucose level is just so good for my sustained energy throughout the day. I think if I were to have all these like ebbs and flows throughout the day, I'd go crazy. I think that would just feel like crashing.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. By keeping that like blood glucose like maintained and stable, it's going to affect their mood massively as well. And, how their relationships are in life and how they turn up to work and to their team and how they're going to perform and play and feel good. That's why sometimes restrictive eating can be used as a tool for us. So some people in a weight loss phase, like post-season, they might want to lose a bit of weight and we can use that as a tool, but it's only a short-term tool because eventually they've got to get together again. And also when a player goes back into season, then fueling for performance is the priority. So weight loss, generally we try to make occur in our off season, or they might be trying to gain some strength or lean muscle. And then once you go into that pre-season or in season, then the focus has to be about performance and fueling for performance. So skipping meals and not fueling adequately enough, it's only going to hold back their performance and how they turn up on the pitch and each training session and stuff like that. So the timing's a big one as well. Like we did touch on like day-to-day changes that I can make to someone's diet and how it affects them. But I think players need to realize as well, so in season, their diet should look different than off season. And then pre-season again, especially elite players are doing double sessions, they need more.
Exactly. I think timing is also a huge thing that a lot of players don't realize as well. Also, eating when you're not hungry, it sounds so like counterintuitive, but when you wake up, you need to eat something before that early morning training session or after it. You may feel a little sick if you've done a lot of running, but getting that like protein shake in right after is so crucial just to restore them glycogen stores, them the energy for that second training session in the day, which is just huge, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's definitely strategies for that. Like sometimes I have players or athletes, especially like my marathon athletes, where I have to train their gut. So yeah, like you said, some people don't like eating in the morning, but one win that I always try to get going with them is let's get fluid in. Let's get like energy coming in with fluid, and then we'll sort of get your body used to that. And then we might introduce something a bit more with a different texture. We might introduce like a puree or some sort of gel type thing. Maybe like honey, like we do sachets of honey or maple syrup, but teaching their stomach to be able to take on that food. Or some players just like sticking with a morning smoothie, but we're getting the energy in. So that's fine. And that's a win.
Exactly. Yeah. Whatever way suits you, just making sure you're getting that sugar in if you do have that early morning training session.
Another thing, actually, I'm glad you brought up timing because I was chatting with a player the other day and they train really late at night. And they said they get back at home at 10:30 at night and then they have to go to sleep and then they're trying to eat, then go to sleep and they wake up really bloated. Right. So a swap he did there is basically having dinner earlier before the training session, so giving enough gap there. And then after the training session, having a finishing smoothie that's made up with some oats and things like that to support that recovery. And then the next day, and we kept it quite light, so then the next day they wake up and there's no bloating. Yeah, so timing of meals is quite important as well.
100%. I'm one to get like oatmeal with some like honey and peanut butter after a late night game just to get them like fats and carbs in. It doesn't really matter. Like, it doesn't need to be like a full course meal because, yeah, I just couldn't digest that quick enough to go to sleep at a decent time. Yeah, I might be in a bit of a deficit, but the next morning then I will eat a little bit more in the breakfast, maybe, like just to compensate a little bit. It's kind of all about, yeah, just getting that overall balance like locked in.
Love that. Even the way you're talking, it's like the educational techniques that we try to build a player to. So like the way you're listening and you're understanding your awareness of energy needs, like these are the steps I try and build a player towards. So basically they get to a point where they don't really have to track. Sometimes I do tracking for short periods because I want them to be aware of the food and how much each energy, like what food brings into their diet. And then they can be a bit more aware, especially if they're eating out, like they can look at a menu and go, oh, okay, that's going to have way too many calories. I can ask them to have a light sauce or something on it. Like they can make those judgments. But yeah, it sounds like you're definitely already doing that, which is super good.
It takes a long time, but I think, yeah, you touched on there eating out. I think that's also like a huge part of being an athlete. And that's a huge challenge I kind of face, especially in the US. Going off topic a little bit here, but we would go on like travel trips a lot and we'd have to drive long periods of time. So I was in Louisiana and it wouldn't be uncommon to have to drive 8 hours to 12 hours to the next day over Texas for some away games. So that means eating on the road, snacking, maybe not eating the food you want to be eating, but you got to eat a lot of food because you're playing a lot of games and training a lot. So yeah, that is a huge, I think, part of the game that I struggled with a lot. I know a lot of other athletes struggle with a lot. So yeah, it would be really cool to incorporate some of that into some of the content you put out there because it took me a long time to get to where I could eat out and feel good with what I was eating out.
Yeah.
Mm.
Interesting. I might get you to give me some information about that so I can create more stuff.
for
Yeah,
sure.
I love that because if I can definitely help more people with that, that'd be great. Okay, so can you walk us through your match day fueling routine from breakfast to post game?
Yes. So what time would the game be at?
Let's do like a 3 p.m. or 5 p.m.
Okay. Let's do 3 p.m.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. When I wake up, I'm always drinking a glass of water. Like my water bottle is always beside me. So I'm drinking like a good bit of water when I first wake up. I typically then go for some form of tea. Like I like peppermint tea, green tea, add some lemon in there, maybe a little bit of honey for some carbs because it's game day. So I'll have that. And then, yeah, straight into breakfast then. I won't wait more than 30 minutes until I'm eating my breakfast. So for breakfast, I typically have, for a game day, oat. I could have toast with some peanut butter on it, some banana. But yeah, let's say I'm doing oats. So oats would be my oats. I'll have some berries in there. So some blueberries, some raspberries. I'll have half a banana just chopped up, popped on there. Have some honey on top. I like some chia seeds typically, maybe a little bit of granola for some extra carbs. Yeah, peanut butter. Nearly forgot that. Yeah, peanut butter always on top there. So that's my oats in the morning. And that will typically take me through till 12 p.m. lunch. So then I'll typically have some white rice, some tuna, cucumber, kind of like a poke bowl in a way. Yeah, I'll leave the sauces for game days because my stomach is just quite sensitive to sauces. So yeah, I typically go just like the simple carbs, the protein, maybe a little bit of fat, maybe at 12 p.m., not too much. A little bit of avocado, but typically I stay away from the fats leading up to the kickoff, as you have told me. And then, yeah, pre-game. So that'll probably be like 2 hours before kickoff. I always have 2 crumpets, one with jam on it and one with honey on it. Like always need that. And then leading up to the game, an hour before, I'll have a ripe banana. Yeah, for the quick, simple sugars. And then that'll take me through to about 30 minutes before. And then I'm drinking Gatorade. I'm having some dried fruits. Nothing too crazy though, because I do typically feel quite heavy and I'm quite sensitive to any form of heavier foods or fatty foods. So yeah, just my Gatorade typically with some dried fruits. And then I'll play the first half and then halftime. I'm having my gel, my Gatorade. And then second half, get through to there. And then post game, yeah, just whatever we're doing. If we're going out to eat Mexican, I'm having the Mexican food. If have some dinner prepped at home. I try to get in my protein, my carbs, my fats. And then, yeah, after a game, I'm always treating myself to something sweet, like a nice frozen yogurt or yochi or whatnot. So yeah, that's typically a game day.
Yeah, very good. That was great, actually. That was really good and a good description. And you like explained some meaning behind why you're eating some of that, which I definitely want more players to understand the reasons behind it. So what would you say to someone that is considering reaching out to me or needs some nutrition advice?
Just do it. I think you won't regret your decision if you do it. It's just impacted my game in ways I couldn't even describe. Like before I reached out to you, I had all the tools, but I just couldn't do it myself. I needed someone to help me and guide me. Even I feel like I had a great understanding of nutrition and I still was getting it wrong. And it was slight little minor things. But when I tweaked them slightly with your help, it just took my game to the next level, like 100%. So yeah, I would say just absolutely go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm blushing now,
You
but
know,
no, yeah,
okay.
no, thank you for that. I'm super glad that I can make a difference to your game. And just, I love those messages afterwards. I get quite a few messages every day now, but people will message me and say, oh my God, I tried this and I felt so much better. Or I'll get like a video of someone playing and they'll score like an absolute rocket. And they're like, I had your pre-game pancakes. It's really cool to hear that. And I love that I'm helping people and I'm glad I could help you.
You really did. Yeah. Thank you so much.
That's okay. So if you could go back and give some advice to your younger self as a player starting out, what would it be?
I think to just have fun a little bit more in the game. Growing up, I put a lot of pressure on always staying in shape and always being soccer fit and physically ready for the game and never missing a day training. And a lot of that is what you see on social media and falling into the traps of you got to just grind, but you're going to hit a wall at a point if you keep that, up. So I think understanding how important days off are and reset, even periods of time, like a month after season, just taking some time off away from the field and enjoying the other aspects of life because it can become quite indulgent being an athlete and that's your world and it's always intense and serious. So it is nice to step away from that. So yeah, I think just having fun and just enjoying it because you can't play for your whole life. There's only a certain period of time in your life where you can play. So just enjoying the process, I think.
Do you reckon you play better when you're like happier? Like when you're having fun or smiling on the pitch, do you reckon you play better?
Yes, 100%. Like I think my last season in the US compared to my first season in Adelaide just showed that and solidified that. I was just putting too much pressure on myself in America and I was probably a little bit stressed being a student athlete as well. That comes into it. But in Adelaide, I was just playing. I was just having fun. And I had one of the best seasons of my life.
Yeah, that's great. That's good to hear. Sometimes I go out and watch some of my youth players play and I like to look around the pitch and sometimes it kind of makes me a little bit sad because I see some of these young kids and their parents or the coaches and the players themselves that put so much pressure on themselves. And I want to see them like smiling and happy. And sometimes it just, yeah, I don't know. I just want players to have fun and I feel like they'd play a lot better.
Absolutely. You're dead on. We coached me and my roommate from Germany, Lena. We coached the U12 team for uni. And that would be one of the things we would harp on to our girls about. You'd see them getting down on themselves and they make a mistake and stuff. Just pick your head up, enjoy the game and smile. And yeah, it will take care of itself then if you're enjoying it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So we're going to finish off with a bit of a quick fire round.
Sounds good.
Some fun questions. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee. What do you guys
All,
say?
all kinds of coffee. I really enjoy right now in America, it's really hot. It's August, so it's really hot. So I like iced coffee. So I like cold brew with a little bit of oat milk.
Okay. Do you do black coffee?
I tried it. I had a period when I done black coffee, but no, I like the creaminess of the oat milk.
Yeah. Okay. I seen
Yeah.
I seen something. I don't know if it's true, but basically it said that like psychopaths apparently drink black coffee, or you're more likely to be a psychopath or something. So yeah, stay away from that one.
Yeah.
Favorite football brand?
Nike Mercurial, hands down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't go for anything else.
Do you have a typical color that you always try and get?
When I was younger, I always went for them obnoxious, like yellow boots.
Yeah, I think I had a pair.
Yeah, I think everybody did, but I typically go for just like white or like whatever the new boot that's in. I don't really have preference.
Yeah. Do you ever try and
Yeah.
match your kit?
I actually haven't, funnily
Oh.
enough. No. I know a lot of players do, but no, I never tried. I just went with the flow. What was it that season and stuff?
Yeah. That's cool. Okay, dream stadium to play in.
Wembley Stadium.
Yeah, that'd be pretty amazing. I really like how you can catch the train in there and you get out the train and the doors open and there's just this long walk and the stadium's in the distance and it's just, wow, shivers. Okay, pre-match hype song. What's your playlist?
Okay, I picked Thunderstruck by AC/DC.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why. It just hypes me up. That's the one song on my playlist. I was like, I couldn't live without that one before a game.
Yeah?
But there's many. But yeah, I'll go Thunderstruck.
I love it. Best teammate that you've played with performance-wise?
My old captain at Southeastern Louisiana, so my college I played for in America, her name was Hannah McCord. She played for the University of Portland and then she transferred to my college in Louisiana. And she was just such a leader on the field and not through verbal leadership. She led by example, which was really nice to play with. And yeah, she was just a baller.
Yeah, nice. Toughest opponent you've faced?
I actually picked Cote Roja, which was in the league in Adelaide. I'm pretty sure she got one of the top scorers this season. Yeah, she's just incredible. She plays for Flinders. I don't know, Cote Roja, if you know her.
Yep.
Yeah, so I played against her. She would pick the ball up and just absolutely destroy defenders and go score a banger. Like, she was up there. She's like an international. Like, she played like for her country and everything. So
yeah, so she's good. All right, do you have a game day ritual? So do you like tie on the one boot first, or I don't know, you have to like put the rubbish out that day, or I don't know.
oh, I don't have a pre-game ritual. I tie my shoelaces a certain way. I don't think that's like a ritual, but I just
like,
have to tie it a certain way.
Do you do it funny or is it different?
No, it's not. It's the only way I figured out that will actually keep my laces tied for the entire match. But that's not really a ritual.
How do you do it? What's the secret?
It's not that exciting. Like, it's really not. But I would have to actually get a shoe out to show you how to do this because it has to be double knotted and like the bunny ears and everything. Like, there's a particular way to do it. And I've done it for teammates before and they swear by it. So I think it's actually quite elite if I do say so myself.
A shoe nearby?
I guess so. I could probably get a shoe if you want to see it.
Yeah, I want to see it.
I found a shoe.
Yes.
Here's the shoe.
I'm expecting like this super fancy shoe time technique. Oh, you've got on a bench. Perfect.
But I get the shoe. Tie it like this. You got to do the 2 bunny ears. And they got to go like this and around. And normally my laces are a lot longer. And they go like this. And then they're usually longer. So I normally do 2 more bunny ears and do that same thing again. And it locks it in for the whole game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm a single bunny ear guy. I just do the one bunny ear around.
Oh, no. You got to do the 2 bunny ears and wrap it around.
If anyone's watching this and you've got troubles with shoe tying or your laces coming undone, Nicole's just giving you the absolute go to all shoelace tying techniques.
A teammate actually at my college in Louisiana showed me how to do that. And I was just swore by it ever since. Yeah, hit me up if you need tips for tying your shoelace. This has turned fueling into tying shoelaces very quickly.
I hope this podcast comes out and you get messages from people like asking you, please let me know if you do. Just fantastic. That's like the best moment of my life.
Oh my God.
If you could have dinner with any footballer, past or present, who would it be?
Harley Lloyd.
Yes, yeah. Good choice. Favorite Aussie food that you've tried? Do you have a shrimp on the barbie?
I did not have a shrimp on the barbie. Apparently that's American actually. Because you don't say shrimp, you say prawns.
True. That's
like an American coined it, but like it's like an Aussie thing, but like an American said it.
Every time someone does like a pretending to be Australian thing, they always say that line, and that is a very good point. We do call it prawns.
Exactly. That's what I said. I was like, don't just call it prawn. It's the same with top of the morning to you when they say about Ireland. No one actually says top of the morning to you in Ireland. Nobody.
I'm just picturing like going to Ireland now and everyone's at the top of the block and cheer.
They'd actually look at you so sideways.
Who does say that? Is it the UK? Was that American as well?
I think it was
American. Just have everything.
Mental. Partly.
They can't have everything.
I know.
Brainwashed you.
I guess so. It's a hard one. There's a lot of good food in Australia, but I would say my favorite, I don't think it's favorite food, but I really enjoy Yoti, the frozen yogurt place with the like toppings and stuff, or like Tim Tams. Yeah, I love Tim Tams.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm for the Tim Tam team. Pineapple on pizza.
Absolutely.
Yeah, me too.
I love it.
Okay, Netflix binge or night out with friends?
I would combine them. So like a Netflix binge with my friends. I like nights in, but I need company.
Yeah. What would the movie be? Do you do like comedy or action or rom-com?
I like thrillers.
Thrillers are good.
Yeah.
But I don't do like horror. Like I can do it, but I don't like the like intense, gross stuff where it just goes too far. And thrillers
like
are good though. I like being on
gory.
the edge of my seat. Huh?
You don't like the gory?
Yeah. Do you?
No, not really. I like being on the edge of my seat as well. I just seen the F1 movie and I was like, loved it. It was so cool.
Oh, is that the new one? Brad
Yeah.
Pitt?
Brad Pitt. Yep.
Oh, I need to watch that then.
Yeah, I know.
Did you
it's really
see the Top Gun 2 movie?
good. The Maverick one?
Yeah.
I did not. I didn't see it, unfortunately.
It's on the edge of the same stuff. It's definitely, yeah, that's a change. If you weren't playing soccer, what career would you have?
So I'm very indecisive. My degree is in exercise science, and that's what I got in America. It's quite a broad topic, specialty, whatever. So I always wanted to do something within that kind of field. But I think I'm more leaning towards the medical field because like my soccer journey and being an athlete myself, I enjoyed being an athlete myself, but I don't think I would enjoy coaching or being in the athletic world if I'm not the player, which is like kind of weird. But yeah, I think the medical field is really interesting to me. I'm just really interested in like the body and anatomy and stuff like that. So yeah, something in the medical field.
Sounds good. You'll be sailing love soon.
Yes, that too.
Yeah, you could also always be like a shoe salesman.
Oh yeah, I love you. Good one.
Efficient.
Never gonna live that one down. If any of my teammates see this, like
I promise you, I'm going to clip that up, that specific part, and I'm going to send it directly to your team. What's one word teammates would use to describe you? And you can't say shoe expert.
I would say energetic, like a Duracell bunny, probably.
Yeah, I did notice that you covered a lot of ground when I came out and watched you. Yeah, no, it's good to see. All right, that's the last question. But thanks for stopping by, and I've definitely really enjoyed this chat. And I hope a lot of players watch this and get a good idea of what you do and how important it is to fuel and do the right things, especially like the strength and conditioning tip that you gave and your experience there. I think that was a really good piece of advice for players.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad I get help. And just inspiring the next generation is like a big thing to me. I'm happy I could share my journey and my experience within the different styles of play and different countries I've played in. So I'm glad we had this chat. It was great.
Yeah, good.
That's all for today, guys. You can follow the Football Nutritionist at Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, and jump over to our website at www.thefootballnutritionist.com. Keep fueling for success and kicking those goals.